right, was popping off with everybody out there. We got my man G4JAG on the check-in, you know what I'm saying? And it's been a little minute. We've been going, you know, not back and forth or whatever. You support me, I support you. I review a project.
That's a fact.
We're in the mix doing our stuff. And I saw you like something the other day. I forget what the fuck it was. And I was like, oh shit, you know what? Let me circle back. Let me hit homie up and see what's going on.
Nah, I appreciate it. Uncle Nick, appreciate you having me on the platform and all that, man. LES Finance in the building, man. What's up, Lord?
Let's talk about it, son. I appreciate you. Now, off the top, I wanted to know, you know, where you from and kind of, you know, just to introduce the fans who might not be aware or whatever the fuck, just to get the story correct. Where you from? What was your upbringing like? And what was your family structure like growing up? You know what I'm saying?
I'm from Harlem. Born and raised.
East side, west side?
115th, Morning Side. West side, 115th and Morning Side. But
okay.
You tapped on the family structure. You know what I'm saying? You know how this goes. We tapped on the family structure. So my pops was on the east side, my mom's was on the west side. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we grew up, you know, like any, you know, most, you know, brown and black families in the, you know, late 80s, early 90s. You know what I'm saying? So pops was on
basically welfare, poverty,
yeah, you know the
shit,
vibe.
the crackheads, motherfuckers robbing shit. You trying to get a couple bucks. So pops was in the projects on the east side, or what's going on over there?
He was in it was a development building. I think it's called 1900. You know, a lot of people know it. It's in Lexington. You know what I'm saying? So it's a popular building.
Yeah, because I fucked with the east side heavy from Carver to Metro to East River to Taino.
Yeah, 119 for Lex. Talking about building 1900. Salute to all my family out there. Man.
Oh, 119 for Lex?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, nigga, the fucking spot was right there for years. You know what I'm talking about? You go to the fucking door right there with the missing handle and shit. Bad news. You know, yeah, I'm in the mix. Son. Well, that was towards second, my bad. But, you know, a little further down. But anyhow, shout out to 119.
Yeah, my boys got a sour out there. It was a big deal, man. They did some things on Lexington, man. Salute to all the Lexide cats, for real.
Yeah, they got a fucking like weed shop up there. They got a lot of different things going on up there. And people are elevating. I seen the weed game now just take over on a whole different level. Motherfuckers got shops in Washington Square Park on the street in Times Square. Niggas set up in front of Porter. Like, shit is off the hook.
Man, the legalized shit got people outside smoking gas, man. I love it. I'm a big supporter of the 420. You see what I'm on right now, Nick.
I'm about to get to it, son. I'm about to catch up with you in 2 seconds.
That's it, man. Come get right, baby.
Yeah, so... All right, basically, you just went through the regular, like most of us in New York City. You from the West Side, grew up with Mom Dukes, pops.
East Side, yeah. My grandmother was uptown, so I used to be uptown a lot. Like I really had I was around a lot of Harlem. I'm from 115th and Morning Side, born and bred. You know what I'm saying? But because my family was spread across, you know, a lot of Harlem, I had to move around a lot of different parts of Harlem and shit.
Okay, got you. That's kind of like me. I bounced around everywhere. I was in Brooklyn, uptown, over here, over there. I ain't have family everywhere. I used to just be fucking doing what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? So now,
that's
basically,
as you should.
Yeah. And figuring out things along the way in life. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is fucking laid out for you with a silver fucking spoon, as we've already discussed.
It's a journey, not a destination, Lord.
Exactly. So, and you got to appreciate it. You learn that as you get older. You know what I mean? So we got Harlem in the building, represented for the East Side and the West Side. Let's fucking get to it. Shout out to all my Africans over there in 116 doing their thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's where I'm from, for real. 115th and Morning Side. I love my
you already know what it is. Anybody over there trying to get the dollar.
You gotta be there to know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know the area well. I used to slide in and out of there. Now, to kind of jump into going from your childhood into your becoming a man, what's the most trouble you ever got into, son?
The most trouble that I would speak about on camera?
Yes, there you go. Something legally that's, you know what I mean? You already dealt with it, the case behind you, and you don't even got to go into detail. You can kind of just, you know, break the situation down. Or we can bypass that, however you want to do it.
I like to speak on positive energy. I ain't going front, man. Like, you know what I mean? I got a lot of kids out here, you know what I mean? I got 4 kids, so I'd rather not speak on, you know what I mean, negative shits while I'm on your platform. I know your audience be tapped in for a certain vibe, but if they're familiar with my music, they know that, like, I like to promote positive energy. You know what I'm saying? It's all a balance. So, like, if you want to know about the negativity shit Jag go through, just listen to the music. It's a lot. I'm very, very thorough.
Yo, son. Yeah, I can't front.
I like to use these platforms so you can get to know me and, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what I say is that, you know, I've been through a lot of shit. Like, you know, I'm still involved in a lot of shit. It's still a lot going on. And, like, you know, so with the way my life is being set up, I tell people, like, you know, you can make it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, the name of the next project is I Survive, You Will Too. You know what I'm saying? And it's the 3rd kind of installment in my survivors lineup. You know what I'm saying? And it's literally speaking to that side of life. Like, you know, I dropped Regressions last year, and that was more speaking on kind of the steps back that I took after kind of, you know, going through the deal situation and still finding out, you know, I'm still, you know, running around in circles in the trenches and going through what I'm going through. So, you know, this
like
album.
Tribe Called Quest, they was popping in it. Q-Tip was sleeping on his mom's couch. Not to say that was your scenario, but people think because you got a deal, you got a record out, everything's gravy. That ain't always
right.
It. Well,
and, you know, from the outside looking in, especially with the help of the internet, you know, motherfuckers think everything is peaches and cream. Yeah. And with that being said, I am going to say I'm grateful for how my shit is set up, because it's not like, yo, it's so fucked up where I can't continue. Nah, it's blessings. It's blessings upon blessings. You know what I'm saying? But it's still a struggle every day. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, I don't want to get it confused. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I had got familiar with, I should say, your struggle. I had caught on when it was Fly Talk Part 4, and you was out there talking some real, you know what I mean? And I
yo,
said,
the Fly Talks are very, very special, and I appreciate you for even bringing that up and tapping into that shit, because the Fly Talks is like, that's like unadulterated Jag. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, when I give them the Fly Talks, that's like, that's my.
If you want the answer to that question I just asked, go listen to Fly Talk.
Yeah, like Fly, and if you listen to them in order, like from Fly Talk 1 to Fly Talk 2, 3, 4. I think it's a Fly Talk 5 that's released. I still got 6 and 7. I know they're not out yet. You know what I'm saying? But you know, my Fly Talk, when I drop a Fly Talk, whether it be on an album, a project, wherever it's located, that's me giving you the oil. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all the breakdown. There's nothing left on it. That's just the pure essence, me, the beat. I'm not trying to make a clever hook. I'm not trying to impress you with, you know what I'm saying? This is just me talking about my life.
I'm telling you about my life. I'm gonna spit it for you, like it or not. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right. So, you know, that's what the Fly Talk is for me. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate you bringing that shit up for real, because those pieces are powerful for me.
Yeah, see, the way you position your answer with the question, you know, I'm not trying to get a particular answer out of you, but I'm just asking things. So the way you pivoted, I said, you know what? I remember listening to these joints, and that kind of reminds me of, you know what I mean, why I lined a certain question up. So that kind of goes together. We're going to keep it positive. We'll go check my fucking music out, and you'll get it back.
Right. Because like I said, we all go through shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I love the music, because I get to express the shit that I go through, even though I'm still being a father of 4. My kids might not feel anything that I'm going through. You understand what I'm saying? And I might say that on the record. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the level of authenticity I try to bring through my music. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm gonna tell you the genuine shit. Like, I literally just said on one of my new songs, the kids said, make the burgers, fuck Mickey D's, the low blow, you know, though, but you appreciating that they made it still, but ain't an obstacle I'll face it to stop you from a Happy Meal. You understand what I'm saying? These are the topics I like to touch on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, shit might not be all good, but that's not your problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, and your problem is to go to school, make sure you live in life, and regardless of what your dad life or lifestyle is, I'm going to make sure that's what you want. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, that's a beautiful thing because I always, I implore on people, I don't have kids, so, I do a lot of charity for the kids in my neighborhood, the parents, like I get out there and do what I think is right and what's noble. But a lot of the times, like I'm missing that part where, you will hear your pops or hear your uncle or somebody or whatever say, I live this way, but I don't want that for you. Nowadays, It's like, it's all good. Everybody just fuck up. We're going to embrace it. We're going to do wild shit. And you could be just like me because I'm your daddy. And for me, there's just something wrong with that. And there's a disconnect. We can keep it real, but I can also guide my kids down a better path. So I'm glad to hear you say that.
Nah, and
that's
I
very
like
important for a person like me.
Nah, I love the fact that our culture in general is tapping into that energy. You know what I'm saying? And there's more voices and people using their platforms to show that they good fathers, and it's more than just hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Because we could all be products of the struggle, man. I came from absolutely nothing. Like my peoples will tell you, man, in my kitchen, there was 100 roaches, nigga, like on any given Sunday. Like you could smack the garbage can, 100 roaches fall to the floor. But that don't mean like you can't appreciate your life and still be happy about shit and find some type of joy and happiness through, the disgust and the turmoil. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the cloth that I feel like, my music is trying to, give to the people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, it's not all glitz and glamour, but guess what? We still going, have a Hollywood motherfucking time, and we still going to celebrate our wins and appreciate these trophies. You know what I'm saying?
And I think they mean even more at that point coming from that place. You know what I'm saying? Like I was about to get into a story about some shit, but this is about you doing your thing. And I'm trying to learn to be a better host in a sense where I'm not kind of over talking people and doing certain things. So,
Nah, it's all good, beloved. We sharing. That's the good thing of the conversation. So, but always feel free to share with me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, that's the thing. I grew up on Avenue D and H Street. When I did my shit with Flea, it was funny because I know he was down there up the street running around doing different shit. And niggas could tell you, they think like sometimes motherfuckers, well, you from New York, so you know what it is. But motherfuckers say, oh, the Lower East Side, the East. Nigga, this shit was burnt out, smoked out, fucked up, dope fiends, roaches, rats. I mean, we had the water rats. The niggas used to stand up and smack the top of the garbage can like blah.
Nigga, the LES used to be one of them places where you couldn't even go through if you ain't know nobody. You understand what I'm saying?
You get left very quickly, and it
was
like that.
I remember, I used to cut school and be try to go pick up some of my guys from Mary Bertram, which is downtown right before the Lower, and then we would walk to the Lower from the financial district. You know what I'm saying? Like, and nigga, that's what we used to, Mac get high. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it was,
I was in the back over there by Smith and all that shit.
Like, wait, say that again?
Y'all was in the back over there by Smith and all that shit?
Yep, exactly. With the underpasses and all that. Got the courts.
Yeah. I already know what direction you said you're walking in, like kind of where you was going.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to my niggas Smith. Yeah, it was definitely grimy, definitely fucked up, and but it grew you to appreciate. To just have a hustle within yourself, but also appreciate the life you could provide for yourself, knowing where you're coming from, because it's a fucking wild ass trip. Because people that already got it, already come from something decent, like they kind of privileged in a way where they overlook shit. You know what I'm saying? And for you to be able to accomplish these things and get to this place, or be in the tunnel, or rock this chain, or have these clothes, or fuck these hoes, or go over here, or eat this type of meal, like it was all stripes. You know what I'm saying? And you're coming into being a man and coming from poverty and being like, fuck that shit, or you crackhead motherfucker, right. Like I love for you, but I'm on my way up. Like George Jefferson, we're moving, no. So it just felt that much better. But then it also hurts that much more when you regress and you have to go back to that shit. But I learned to deal with that as well. Because that's another
life is a roller coaster shit. Yeah. And I feel like that's the best message you will get from listening to my music, listening to this discography. I'm very proud. I'm about to put out my 12th project. You know what I'm saying? And this joint is called "I Survive, You Will Too." And like I said, that's the message throughout the project. It's like, you know, I survived, and you know, wherever you at in life, be in the darkest motherfucking place, but you know, stay focused, and you know, you will too, motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, no, no,
you know, shit. Sometimes we can lose focus.
Yeah, there's a part of you that wants to succeed, and there's a part of you that wants to fail. And that part of you that wants to fail, their voice starts to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller the more you learn to fight through shit. And that's just what it is, son. Just having the strength, whether you win, lose, draw, whether you don't learn shit, whether you're in more fucked up situations, to just keep getting up, keep pushing, and eventually you'll learn. But if you keep a clean heart and honestly do the right thing, not that many bad things should just be presenting themselves to you all the time. You should, sometimes you're gonna get the short end of the stick, you're not gonna get yours, but you shouldn't have to protect your neck in a certain sense. I'll leave it at that. But how would you describe your style? Because your style is different, son. Your voice, you like the Barry White of hip hop type shit. You understand?
Man, I don't like. That's a great question, man. I don't know. I would say like I just, you know, I just make records, man. Like I pick the beats that I feel like relate to me the most, and I have, you know, I try to, like with this project. This is the first project I'm doing in a while where I have like a lot of different producers. So with that comes a lot of options for me to like pick through beats. Whereas working with one producer, I might just get on a creative vision, or depending on what the situation is, you know what I'm saying? So with this project and me having complete control of like every beat I rap,
you're kind of tailored in one direction with that person's sound.
Exactly.
Multiple producers, there's a lot of versatility there.
Right. I'm free to kind of, you know, pick really like cherry pick.
You're breaking up a little bit, my brother.
Saying so, like with this,
you're breaking up. Again? You're breaking up.
Oh, my fault. My fault. A little better.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, I was saying with this album, a lot of the production, it was a lot of cherry picking. So I got to get with a lot of these producers who I like to work with, and like pick kind of, you know, my favorite piece here and there. And so with this project, you're gonna get a lot of, you know, this is me and this producer, and this is my favorite beat at that moment that they had. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of good energy.
You going hard body karate on some assassin shit on these individual tracks.
Good Lord. Listen, if you came for bars, you know, you like that side of hip hop, this is for you. If you like a lot of feeling and you like soul, this is for you too. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also I'm rapping on this. So like, you know what I mean? It's like, cause all the beats were very fun for me to rap on. So it's like, you know, every last beat is like a beat where I really liked it. So it's like, you know what I mean? And I got
there's another hypeness
like 20 records of them shit. Right. So it's a lot of this energy where I'm like, I'm on my bullshit. I got one called Unlaced Timbs that's like one of my favorite records I probably ever did. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a banger. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's no feature on it, which is, you know, I love my feature records though. I got a lot of good guys that topped out for this, man. You know what? I didn't even name none of the features yet, but I got a lot of good guys on this, man, and we danced.
So the plan should be, so the fans should, and the plans going accordingly, and everybody should be pleasantly surprised. Well, not surprised, but pleased. You know what I'm saying? And definitely.
Yeah. I don't know.
It'll feel like a reward to the fans, the consumers. Like, yeah,
right.
We got one right here. That's a fucking masterpiece. You know, because they watch you build up your arsenal in a sense.
Right. This is one of those like I'm very happy with the records that I got, with the body of records that I have right now. And they might not even all make the cut for the project, you know what I'm saying? Depending on what me and Flea discuss by the, time we really get into the nitty-gritty of formulating the track list and all that type of stuff. But the pool of records that I'm choosing from is not one record that I would put on this. You know what I'm saying? So this is gonna be hard for me to break down. Like, you know what I mean? And I know I'm gonna break it down because I probably got 20 plus records at this point. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna put out a project with 20 records right now. I'm not about to do that. So like, you're probably gonna get 10 of them. Yeah. I'll probably give you a good 10 piece, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be,
and then circle back on that.
Beautiful. Yeah. I have something. Well, I got right now, I'm still sitting on like 10 unreleased projects. So like this I did because I wanted to kind of introduce some of these solo producer projects that I have that I didn't want to drop first in the year. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted this project kind of be the first lead off project. So that's why I didn't rush, even though I have other bodies of work that I could have dropped that are ready to go. It's just, I didn't want those to be the lead off for this year, not for my 12th project, not to start 2022 for me. Like I really wanted, I Survive, You Will Too, to be like a special piece for like the world, for everybody. I'm going back to the Plague Mask. No one's seen the artwork yet. I've had the artwork for months. Well, not months, but at least a couple weeks now. And I'm about to release that soon because it's almost time for the drop. So it's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm having a lot of fun right now.
Sounds like you in a marvelous place, son. I can't front. Sounds like you on cruise control and you just doing your thing. Now,
man, I did a lot of work last year, so now it's time to push it out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's time to show people what the fuck the work ethic is about behind the scenes and how beautiful it can be when you got a team behind you that supports you. And now it's time for the consumers to get there and do their job. You know what I'm saying? Because you're giving them
right.
So
that's a fact.
Now, on top, like to kind of springboard off that, like what other musical genres or musical influences outside of hip hop do you actually draw inspiration from to get creative? You know what I'm saying? Whether it's creating a song or an LP or
just tell the truth.
Projects.
So like, truthfully, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I listen to a lot of R&B, you know what I'm saying? And I listen to a lot of West African dance music, like, you know what I'm saying? That's like the shit I'm into, like, as far as, audio type of, shit that piques my ears because it's a lot of drums, a lot of really off beats. And sometimes when I like to think of cadences and I'm thinking about writing bars and shit like that, I like to draw inspiration from, emotion and from, good rhythms and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
So that makes sense.
It's, I really don't, to be honest with you, my playlist is not chock full of hip hop. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to catch some Flea, you're going to catch some Trust, some Black G, some of the guys, you know what I'm saying? There's going to be a lot of different kind of styles of my shit, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all right, cool. Just to try to get into the mind of Jag, you know what I'm saying? Understand kind of what he's got going on. So there's soul there's a lot of R&B, there's the West African drums, and kind of you just keep a versatile playlist and you just draw inspiration throughout the day from different things, and this helps you along your creative process. All right. Now, how did you come up with the name G4JAG? Does it symbolize anything? What does it mean? And what is Mr. Meet Me in the Sky about?
Jag is just my initials. That's like actually my government name. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, that's where the Jag comes from. It's just like my name. And then the G4 was a name that a group of college students gave to me, you know what I mean, like many years ago. Cause like I just, carry myself a little different, than what they was used to seeing. You know what I'm saying? So, I had so many aliases before that. Like, little different kind of, you know what I mean?
So then it became just like G4JAG, got you.
Right, like, that actually had nothing to do with rap, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was just like part of life, like, and then it was just like,
something that stuck with you and you felt comfortable bringing that to the public.
Had a nice ring to it, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it was cool. You know what I mean?
Now,
I was like Jag Beast before that. I used to be Jag the Boss. It was Jag the Kid. I had so many different eras and seasons of Jag, like, you know what I'm saying? So way before it was a G4JAG or a thought of a, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, that was a dope time for me because, you know, that was kind of, like you said, coming into your manhood and, you know, understanding who you are starting to grow, you know what I mean, into your, you know, your identity, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that was
and
dope.
also other people respecting you for the way you putting things down and how you maneuvering.
Right.
Right.
They say your names are given to you. They're not self-proclaimed. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
you know what
I can say that name was given to me. I can genuinely say that. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't some shit that I thought was so fire and I just had to name myself that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like that was like, oh, go you G4. So all right, it's kind of dope. You know what I mean? I like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to bring to it. I'm doing my thing. Real recognized, real, and you know.
Right.
If it makes sense, it makes sense. That's what it boils down to. Now, the first time I actually heard you, I think was on a track with Flea Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did y'all meet? You know what I'm saying? What's the connection at this point? And what is it like working with some?
Flea is my fucking brother, man. We met at a studio in Harlem. We was both working at Mad Bull Studios, and you know, we just kept linking, you know, being around in the same workspace a lot, like, you know what I'm saying? And his energy was just so, he was just a very genuine, good-hearted, solid motherfucker, like, you know what I'm saying? Like to smoke a lot of good weed, you know, kind of like myself, you know what I'm saying? So he gave me the, you know, he kind of was like, it was crazy because like one day I was like literally like I was gonna ask the nigga to listen to some of my music type shit. And like that's literally the same day he like had the inclination, like he was like reached out, he was like, yo, let me, you know, would you give me a shot, listen to some of your music and shit like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it was like, nigga, hell yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I literally wanted you to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He beat
like,
you to the punch.
It was just fucking right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like I had like probably 150 songs at the time that was like unreleased. And he had went through he literally listened to each record and ended up pulling like 10 records, like, you know what I mean? Really, like he took the 100 and broke it down to 50, to the 50, broke it down to 20. And then like, you know, he took like, you know, his favorite 10 records and then that became the first project, The Survivors, you know what I'm saying? In 2019. January when I dropped it, which is a lot of people, you know, especially people who know my discography now, they consider that my first project. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's like, you know what I mean? That's, you know, a dope, you know, kind of situation. Pass me that shit right there. That vinyl, you know, Survivor shit, the rainbow shit. You know, my brother fucking, you know, helped me create this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, from the artwork and, you know what I mean? Everything to securing the situation with the rap Winkle and, you know what I'm saying? Like making sure, you know, he had this shit to give to the world. So like, salute to Flea Lord, man. Working with Flea is like, it's dope for me because I like to rap a lot. I'm a rap a lot ass nigga, like, you know what I'm saying? So like when I'm in the booth, I'm a rap ass nigga. I always want to rap. I always want to work. I always want to be in the studio, you know? So, you know, Flea's work ethic is like, it's perfect for a nigga like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally like exactly what I was looking for. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a nigga that's always trying to work. You know what I'm saying? And I was somebody who's always trying to be in. That's why we kept running into each other. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, you know, just his drive alone. And then like the fact that he's, you know, he moves righteous and he cares about motherfuckers first a lot of the times, you know what I'm saying, which is dope about him. So it's like working with him is very easy, you know what I'm saying? Like it almost like you want to make sure you do right by the bro because all he do is do right by niggas, like, you know what I'm saying? Like then he's hungry as fuck. So it's like to add that with a drive and somebody who's from the same places that you from and, you know, once I learned he was a little older than me, you know what I'm saying? No shot at the Lord, but like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, you know, maybe you got a little something I could learn from the Lord, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's been on this earth a little long. I'm a firm believer in, you know, trusting time and, you know, journeys that motherfuckers been through, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, when a motherfucker like Flea, it's easy to, you know, kind of sit back and listen because he lived a lot of life. You know what I mean?
Got you, and you're gonna and like in life in general, you know, a lot of people talk fast, a lot of people talk a lot of bullshit, but how you get to know someone is through their actions, what they do, how they behave. So it's easy
Right.
for you to buy into everything as well from watching, witnessing, being a part, and actively working every motherfucking day. You know what I'm saying? So it
Right.
just all
Right.
gels very nice. I got a synergy, everything comes together, everybody's positive, plus the morale is high, like you said, because everyone's working and they feel productive. You know what I'm saying? And there's no bullshit going on. And like you said, son's very upfront and genuine. It's to the point where you feel obligated, like you have to do everything right, because this is a win-win situation for everybody. You're just gonna fuck it up for yourself if you try to take it somewhere else, I guess. So that.
Right. And like and you know, and besides him doing good business, being a dope artist, like personally, he's my brother at this point. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he's a nigga that's like, you know, we talk about family shit, we talk about real shit, like shit that's more important than music, that's more important than the careers, that's more important than the relationship. You know what I'm saying? And he's solid on that side, and that's what I
he
think
cares
is
about your mental health, your situation, your
right.
food,
You understand what I'm
how
saying?
you
That's
living.
important. Like, you know what I mean? Like
It ain't like, yo, get
that's
out
the
here with
number
these
one shit
fucking
over
shiny
everything.
suits, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I need you to rap for 90 fucking million hours, sign these fucking contracts, and this shit is a machine. Fuck what you got going on in your life. That was
Right.
you know, that's one thing that you kind of see with certain artists or different individuals. You know, people want to come back later on when they're fucked up in the game. For example, like a person like Black Rob, and like have all this great stuff to say, and oh, I'm gonna help you, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. But like in between the meantime, like you could tell Duke had a lot going on in his personal life, family structure, different things, and that's where you need a friend, somebody that help you make all this money and put you in a position to somewhat self-destruct, should also be there to you for you to uplift you, big you up, and make sure you don't take it that far. Not that it's their job, but as a man, as a motherfucker that keeps it real, as a person that says, you know what, our kids is going to college or for this and that or XYZ, you know, I think you owe that to that person and to each other to keep that bond correct. But when you start dealing with large digits, big brackets, fucking global, worldwide expectations and dominance and this and that, then the game changes for certain people. But it's a beautiful thing that you guys are able to have that close-knit family bond and also get the music out, get the work out. There's really no confusion behind the scenes or on the front.
Literally, like that's why it's so, you know, I'm happy working with Flea, because it's like the bro. I talked to the Lord today, and niggas eating chicken teriyaki, but we talking about the album. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like he gonna be still living regular life, but he not gonna let nothing stop. You know what I'm saying? What he trying to do or what we trying to accomplish, and like that's a dope part of the situation I'm in, and doing business with the people who you're friends with, you got good relationships with, that you like dealing with. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that's the thing too within certain situations, whether you look at an NWA or you look at this or you look at that. I think there's one person sometimes that starts to see, oh shit, I'm fucking bang, and then it's just like off in that direction. So it's already kind of set in stone within the fashion that you men are gonna move amongst each other, and what you're creating, what you've already done, what you got going on in the future. So it's a really solid situation, and it's another beautiful thing on the flip side of the coin, because as a consumer of music, it was fucked up when you would see things go on with certain groups or see things go on with certain artists, and then you don't fucking hear from them no more. They just off in West Bumblefuck somewhere, and you might be able to catch them at a show, performing here or there, whatever the fuck, but the situation behind the scenes disabled them from really progressing and moving on. So this is a beautiful thing for the fans too, where y'all are tight behind the scenes, doing music, doing this, doing that, where they never really have to worry like, yo, what's really going on over there? Y'all just gonna keep giving them fire. So it's like like I said, it's a win-win-win-win-win, and it's deeper because, you know, me doing YouTube and doing different stuff, you know, you could do what you want to do in life, but then who the fuck is gonna buy it? All right, so you gotta stay in a fucking lane and still keep feeding the machine and also doing right by your fans. And how can you do that when, like I said, we've seen so many artists or groups go through situations where they just couldn't move forward or progress? So that like on, you know, just not thinking about your connection, like what you're actually offering and bringing to the fans, like that stability. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that we can count on this. Because it's big for people to be able to get these projects like this, even though they're like EPs or shorter than classic albums from back in the day or whatever the case may be. I think people just consume music a lot faster. Life moves a lot faster. It's more convenient. Like you can sit down and listen to a discography in a day and really figure out if you like a motherfucker. And then next week, you got all this shit. It's easier for the fan to either be down with you or not be down with you. You know, I think you guys got something going on where, you know, just everybody's happy. That's what I should say. The consumer, you guys doing the right thing, and you put in the good karmic energy out there in the universe. You know what I'm saying? It's the best way I could put it. Now, back, to piggyback off that, I seen that Conway dropped God Don't Make Mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And that shit was a phenomenal body of work. I have to admit the production was super fire. And I actually thought that he got very personal on the album, and the subject matter made it very relatable for just the common motherfucker that never even heard a record or don't even kind of know what's going on sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And I also think he kept it gutter though. He actually spit the shit that his regular fans and other people want to hear. But along his way of doing his promo run for the album, I wound up seeing him talk about, you know, he signed multiple deals and shit like that. And basically he didn't really get a lot of money off that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I don't want to get into that in his situation because that's his situation. But what I want to ask you is, what's your advice to any artist that finds themselves in a similar situation that can kind of become a debacle where there's not necessarily resentment, but you sign on to things and you're not necessarily aware of what's coming in, what's going out, or what you're entitled to? What would your advice be to the artists coming in and kind of encountering situations like that, where, you know,
before I speak on it, what I am going to say is I'm not really familiar with his situation as far as the deal. So what you're speaking on, so my answer is going to be drawn from just, you know, the knowledge that you just gave me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, basically, so like, this is what he said when he was on the Breakfast Club. He said that I believe he signed a deal with Griselda, of course, and he said he didn't really get much off that. Then I think it was Interscope and Shady. And he was like, you know, everybody else kind of, you know, made some numbers or did some stuff, but I didn't really necessarily like cash out off of those deals. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a free agent now. I'm doing my thing. I'll always be Griselda, and we're working on some things behind the scenes to fix some stuff up and, you know, get things together. But moving forward, you know, I definitely want to push this drum work, you know what I'm saying, and a few artists that I'm fucking with and a few different things I have going on. So it wasn't necessarily like, yo, fuck this, but it was just like kind of making everyone aware of why he's at where he's at now, doing drum work, doing this and doing that. It kind of wasn't a shot. It was just an explanation.
So what I would say evolution. What I would take from that is, like I said, what I would take from that information that's like from what I heard. like Khan is he's a super solid individual. I know him behind the scenes, and he's just a solid brother. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not familiar with his business or anything like that. Like, you know what I mean? Or as far as like his deals or anything like that. But from what you're just saying, I'm sure whatever he did, you know, whether it was a lesson or a blessing at the time, you know, he just did what he could with the situation and probably, you know, made the lemonade and kept going. And that's what I would say artists have to take from this is always, you know, educate yourself, but make the lemonade and keep going. You know what I'm saying? Because it's never going to be perfect, but it's going to be an opportunity. And sometimes you got to make the best of it because you don't got no fucking other shot. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so it's like.
We talked about this last Friday on my live stream, and I said, what better position to be in right now as a free agent than where he's at now in life? In his career. So
no, I mean, like that's what I'm saying. He's winning. So like I would
that's
not
what I'm saying. Like
you like you know what I'm saying? It's not
everything
like,
at your
foot. So that's what I'm saying. The
like
way I felt like
that
the
process got you here.
Like,
so like you said, it's a blessing really at the end of the day.
Right. Like I feel like
for him,
like,
but
life
it ain't
is
gonna
not
end
the
like that for
destination,
every
it's a
artist.
journey.
Though. You know what I mean?
Right. But and that's true. So like that's why I say for him, he's you know, he's a genius when it comes to what he has to do for him in his career. You know what I'm saying? So whatever steps he took, he made the best of his situation, and you know he's going to make whatever businesses he has to make to be successful. I know that he's taking care of his people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they are well taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, on top of, you know, being a pioneer and leader in the shit that he's doing. You know what I'm saying? As far as his community and in hip hop. So, you know, it takes a lot to make the man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not, the journey is never going to be defined. But what you can do is always educate yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and always be familiar with music lawyers and what you have, you know, whatever representation you can get. You know what I'm saying? Because the business is a completely different monster than the creative side.
Well, I remember
and a lot of
somebody
times,
turned to me one day, right? And they said, do you know what prejudice means? And I said, prejudice? What do you mean? He said, do you know what prejudice means? And I said, yeah, like when somebody, you know what I'm saying, is fronting on somebody based on their nationality or race, or, you know, you're being racist. He said, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's one aspect of it, but I can sue you with prejudice or without. That's what you need to know, young man. And I said, the fuck you talking about? And it's all that legal shit. It's all that verbal jargon, that terminology. It's those things that you're not aware of. I read in the contract with prejudice, I'm thinking like you're talking about some race shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that you're talking about with or without prejudice. You know, there's just certain things and how things go. You know, easily be strung along through stuff. So basically, that would be it. Just educate yourself. Be aware of what you're doing, but also, like you said, work hard, put the work in, and make something of yourself. Because you're in a situation to win. So when you come out the other end, make sure you can continue to win.
Right, and use what you have available. You know what I'm saying? Just keep going. Like that's my message in all my music. I have a whole project named "Keep Going." You know what I'm saying? Because it's literally about one foot in front of the other. That's the only way you're gonna step forward.
What's your current situation like? You're signed with Lord Mark, I believe.
Yeah. I'm signed with Lord. One of the artists definitely signed, and it was a beautiful situation as far as like from where I was standing as an independent, and what I was trying to do and my goals and what I was trying to create for my legacy. And to be honest with you, what Me Fucks and Flea are doing, they just keep making it better and trying to grow it year by year. You know what I'm saying? So, the situation for me, it just keeps getting, a little better and better, and it gets a little closer, the network gets a little stronger, the opportunities get a little greater. So I'm very grateful for the situation I'm in, just because it's a very rare situation for independent artists. But with Flea at the head kind of the business situation is going to be different. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not going to be like the regular shit you may go through with a label and a contract situation. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
you can actually call him and be like, yo, son, whatever.
Right.
Like,
well, I can call him and he can give me my lawyer's phone number and I can call my lawyer.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's an easy thing. It's not like, yo, Jag, listen here. Tom is out of the office. He's in the fucking Bahamas, and you just gotta wait.
Right.
He might be there for 2 months, fucking off the expense account, but it's your problem, not mine, Jag. Stop fucking calling. Yeah. We got fucking DMX on the other line. God bless. R.I.P. Like, that's kind of how it was, you know? You know what I mean? And
nah, back in the day, that's for real though, real shit. Real shit.
Yeah,
that's really how it used to be.
A motherfucker shut you down and just put you in a place and be like, wait 6 months.
And be like, your shit don't even count no more. You know what I'm saying? But this is why I deal with the people I work with the way I deal with them. You know what I'm saying?
Did you have situations present themselves prior to Flea Lord and him coming through with the deal? Unrelated to y'all just having a brotherhood. Like, were there other people that like?
Yeah, I've been in a lot of different situations, like musically, contract wise. Like, I've been in and out of contracts. I'm not really new to this. You know what I'm saying? So I've been a lot of behind the scenes work. I've been through a lot of different shit. You know what I'm saying? So this is, far from my first contract situation. It's just kind of my first contract situation as a performer and a writer and as a whole artist in totality, not just a behind the scenes writer or not just in a group or like, you know what I'm saying, whatever situation I was in before, you know what I'm saying, like it's right, like, you know what I'm saying, like
motherfucker, right, work for hire real
17 plus years in with this shit now, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. They'll push the artist wherever
you've earned your spot, and through you just maneuvering the way you did, you kind of put yourself in this position indirectly, not necessarily if it was through Flea or it was through somebody else, you were going to find a situation that was going to work for you based off of your work ethic and your grind and what you were doing. And it just happened to be that you linked with this amazing individual, human being, and y'all just made it work.
Right. No, yeah, I wouldn't have had it any other way, but it definitely was still, it was a lot going on with me at the time. In fact, Flea was the person who kind of helped guide my shit in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? Because I had so much things happening at one time. Like, you know what I mean? So I kind of needed to focus up and figure out a way to drive everything and kind of tunnel all my support and all the people who do support the shit that I'm doing and get them onto, one kind of vision and one tunnel instead of me, doing a bunch of shows down south, and I'm doing a bunch of shows in Connecticut. I'm doing a bunch of shows in Pennsylvania and, all these different smaller markets where I tapped in at. And
I didn't have a way, on the wall all over the place, hoping something sticks.
Right, exactly. But with the way kind of Flea drove the ship, it was like, well, now I made all these little kind of networks connect to kind of form this one larger network. You know what I'm saying? And now when I travel, it's a different kind of, it's a different feeling for me. So it's like, life is a journey again. You know what I'm saying? You can't control the way the shit is gonna work. You just got to make the best of the shit as you go along. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely. And sometimes you got to take a step back to figure out what the fuck didn't work, to figure out the direction you want to go back in, because you're not going to change who you are, but you can always, I shouldn't say reinvent, but you can always figure out a different projection of yourself that's ideal for what you're doing and where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really what it is always at the end of the day. We're projecting something. So what are you projecting? Is it something of light or is it something
right?
You know what I'm saying? Now,
that's a fact. That's a fact.
What's the worst experience you've had doing this hip hop shit? Performance, dirty bitch blew up the bathroom when you was recording, whatever. Like wow. Funny experience.
Worst experience I had. I was writing an album one time. This was like the most heartbreaking shit that ever happened to me. And I was a firm believer in writing all my raps out because like scribing and shit was like, you know, an art form to me, and my handwriting and shit, you know, it's something like shit you can't recreate. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I
Well,
felt
you know
like
what the
having.
thing is too? You memorize things more when you write them. That's the
That's a
proof.
fact. That's another
Yeah.
thing. When you write them down, you're visualizing it, you're taking it in different pores. So it's like, you know, I used to really love to write. So what happened was I was like damn near finished like writing this album, and like I fucking lost the entire rap book. And it was like one of the most fucking, like I didn't record shit really yet. Like shit wasn't really like, so like I basically just lost the whole thought process of an album. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like into thin air.
And it's
Like,
crazy
so
because
it's like,
this is an era where you're still writing on the pen and the pad. It still feels good to do it. It still means something
right.
to do it in that format. And you know what's crazy? Like, who found that shit? Is what I want to know. Because somebody always finds everything. Like,
Right.
you know, I had interviewed these kids in the UK. Not kids. They had like the first really big hip hop group. They had got down with Sony, signed like a 3-album record deal, got all this money, this and that, and then shit went from sugar to shit mad quick. Like the Spice Girls kind of came on the scene, and then they were more interested in the Spice Girls than the rap group. Like shit just flipped upside down in the whole direction of what the label wanted to do and who they were investing in and what they were going back on. So these motherfuckers somebody was on a bus one day and was just riding down the road and saw one of their records like just sticking out of a box of other shit. And it was like it wasn't released yet. This was, you know, when like you said, you got the album cover, you're putting things together, you're playing with shit, you're looking at shit. But back then you would press it up, have people.
Yeah, you had to do test press and all that.
It wasn't digital, it was physical. So these motherfuckers,
right.
It was raining, son. And she was just dumped on the fucking corner somewhere. And he got out the bus. He went and picked all the shits up. And he was just like, yo, I knew my career was kind of like over at that point. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like that realization sometimes where you're just like, yo, what the fuck just happened? And why is this happening? But I can't even come back from this. Because this is unreal right now. Because it's in the rain. It's all fucked up. We don't have DATs, recordings, masters. The studios,
right. So
what, we don't even have an album to present to someone else. So this shit was different, but it was fucked up. But in retrospect, like coming back to what you were saying, like what did you learn from that, if anything? And did you ever figure out like how the fuck did you lose the shit?
I started writing in my phone.
Now, hip hop has changed, right? So much in the last 20 years to the point now where, you know, a rapper's sexuality or his lifestyle, it isn't necessarily a prerequisite. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't define their acceptance or their success amongst the consumers. So it doesn't stop them, like in a sense, either from collaborating with like big time mainstream artists. You know what I'm saying? So like the question that I have for you now is, would you personally work with like Isaiah Rashad or Tyler the Creator or McConan or somebody like that? Like in a sense, do you think it would hurt your brand? Do you give a fuck about that? Like, I think everybody has a gay family member or somebody that they know that is gay. So I don't think at this point it's like some caveman shit, some archaic mind state. But
right,
also,
like I'm about to say, any nigga who's still moving like that is like about to get left behind. Like, you know what I'm saying? With like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like what people do. Right, like what people do in their personal life is their personal business. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't judge nobody, and like as long as you move righteous and you know right from wrong, and you know you move with morals and values. That's the shit I care about. And like, you know, all of those artists you said, they all stand for some shit. You know what I'm saying? So I would, you know, and there's no way. They all giant artists, so I don't think any of them could hurt my career in any way, shape, or form.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Is pretty big. You know,
Yeah,
but
I mean, so is Isaiah Rashad. Like, you know what I'm saying? He got a good following.
future
Like, you know what I'm
motherfuckers. I
saying?
think the kid Isaiah Rashad, I think he's down with
Yeah.
somebody that's doing something decent. But the McConan kid, I just threw him in there because you know you gotta have three sometimes. You know, three's a charm. But you know, I don't think they gotta do
I
anything.
mean, like
He
I
was
said,
over there fucking with Drake for a minute, writing songs and doing some shit.
yeah, he had the
You know,
OVO
Drake had a
situation.
little factory of writers over there. Yeah.
Not the factory of writers, you a fool, Lord.
You understand? All sitting on the couch together, like, yo, what are you writing? What are you writing? What are you writing? Drake comes on there, crack the whip, like, blah, what are y'all motherfuckers write for the day?
You a fool for
I
that.
need 20 Grammys by 2018, whatever the fuck it was. And they did what they was. One motherfucker lost a foot. Got beat up by Meek Mill. It was crazy, man. The Quentin Miller kid. Shout out to him. He wrote a lot of stuff too. Now, do you think rappers should be gay up front about what they're doing? Or do you think it's better for them to kind of hide it a little? Not hide it, but keep their personal business personal, establish themselves as an artist, gain some hits, and then like you grow your fan base, get your merch up, do whatever you do. And I think at that point, if everybody, like you said, sees that you kind of an honorable person, they just kind of go along with whatever it is. Do you think
I think everybody
forthcoming?
Live their life and do what the fuck they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care about that.
Well, no.
Of shit.
I'm saying more not from like their personal perspective. I mean more from a marketing perspective. Like,
no, what I'm saying is I know what you're saying. What I'm saying is like you should still do what the fuck you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because the only thing you could be is genuine in your music and to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you live life to not please. I mean, me personally, I don't live life to please nobody. Like, you know what I'm saying? I live life to do the shit to create for my legacy and to be the motherfucker that I want.
Things that you care about.
You
Things
know
that
what I'm
you
saying?
love.
So no
Myself
matter
included. So if
no
that's
matter
what
who
they're
you
pursuing,
decide to fuck at the end of the day, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your business. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not my business. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as far as your career, like people, like, that's up to the world. Like, if motherfuckers is still on some weirdo shit and they can't, you know, they can't, I can't speak for the world, man. Like, I could just speak for Jag.
Well,
Jag,
like for example, like not for example, but just like what kind of how I was looking at things, like the Little Nas X kid, right? He kind of didn't have a hip hop song. That shit was like, I don't know. I say there should be a genre called SNS, soft and sensitive. Drake could be the leader of that shit. It's not hip hop. It's not R&B.
Yo,
it's like something in the middle. SNS called it soft and sensitive, and you just put a bunch of motherfuckers in that genre. It's some new shit. You know what I'm saying?
I would say this.
So at the end of the day,
Nick, you a goddamn fool, first and foremost. You're a goddamn fool. I would say this, right? Hip hop is a ever-changing beast. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the one thing that's unique about our culture is that it's the baby of all of these music genres. So it's not defined by anything. You understand what I'm saying? So with this genre being so brand new and growing every day, this is a genre that has fans between the ages of 60, 50, 50, 40, all the way down to 10 to 15. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's literally so many different markets within the hip hop genre that as long as you're being yourself and you being authentic to who the fuck you are, there's gonna be someone who wants to, that's relatable to that life, because it's another motherfucker out there walking your same journey and path as you. You know what I'm saying? Whether that, no matter what the fuck that journey is and what you did to go through it, what you going through, what you attracted to, what you loving, what you hating, whatever the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be somebody else that wants to listen to that and relate to that life because they're living that same shit every day and they're happy to have a voice now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know,
so
I was talking with my man's one day. He's a Muslim brother, my man Saladin. Shout out to you, Sean. And he broke something down in a different kind of way to me. And he was like, yo, Nick, that's not your place in life to judge. Not necessarily like I was judging somebody. Don't get it twisted. I gotta word this properly. He said it isn't a person's place. I don't want to say like I was saying something. We were just talking about some shit. He said it isn't a person's place in life to put somebody over here, put them over there, or make them be anything that they have to be or not be or whatever. As long as the person's doing what's right, that's what you should be focused on. So it kind of like on a universal message, like all around the board, I think everybody can just agree with that. But as a hip hop artist, you know, sometimes you got to ask certain questions to see where people are at with it, because I think also too, not playing a devil's advocate, but how I said earlier, with you and Fleetwood having a good connection, it's not only good for you guys, but it's good for the consumer. It's good for the fans because they can
right.
So it's a two-way street. Like at the same time too, got to be able to also let people know that we might be doing this type of hip hop. You might call it underground, whatever you want, but we all around the board, equal love for everybody too. So, you know, you ask questions, you see where people are at, and some people might expect a certain type of answer, but it's to big things up and let people know it ain't like that. Whatever you're doing, just make sure you're doing it from the heart and be righteous.
Nah, listen, I appreciate those kind of questions because, you know, it's not like nobody ever asked no shit like that before. I'm gonna be honest, you know what I'm saying? I've been on a bunch of shows and interviews and ain't nobody ever asked no shit like that. Nobody ever asked me no shit like that ever. You know what I'm saying?
And it's to break the barrier to show people there isn't a, you know, there isn't no stigma.
Right. But it's not a question I'm uncomfortable with answering. You understand what I'm saying?
There you
like,
go.
Not a problem. Like, you know what I mean? It's just the way I feel is like this. Like I said, man, live and let live, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we all humans. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and some motherfuckers is going through more persecution than others, and some people deserve a little empathy.
It seems to be open season on rappers nowadays, right? So why do you think so many rappers are becoming open targets? Like in a certain sense, where you see a lot of rappers dying very quickly and all the time, it's like the norm now. And how do you think rappers should move in like in a certain sense, like you giving advice to people on contracts or whatever it was, you know, like how do you think people should move and what they should be aware of in these streets being a rapper, knowing that, you know, people are looking at you as a target?
I'm gonna tell you like this, Nick, right? I'll tell you like this, my man. He said, I would say with the rap shit and rappers being targets, just be like, you got to be aware of your lifestyle, what you project, and move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like if you involved in a life and you know you in the streets and you're doing certain things and you know you causing pain, you know you gonna have a right for that to be a reflection. You know what I'm saying? So you got to move accordingly. You know what I'm saying?